We just were making a little tour of the area. It's hard to believe the devastation. Trees that are 100 years old just ripped out of the ground. I've never seen anything like it. I've seen a lot of bad ones. I've gone to a lot of hurricanes, a lot of tornadoes. I've never seen anything like this. This is a bad one. We just visited with incredible families that, I mean, look, they've been devastated. They lost their child or two children, and just hard to believe what, I've never seen anything like it. A little narrow river that becomes a monster, and that's what happened. But the First Lady and I are here in Texas to express the love and support and the anguish of our entire nation in the aftermath of this really horrific and deadly flood. Nobody has any idea how and why a thing like this could happen. It's, and by the way, I have to tell you, the people here, first responders, the sheriff's office, all of the police, law enforcement, they've done an unbelievable job. And in speaking to the parents, they said everybody has been so professional, from the governor to the senators, all the way down to the local people on the site that really are a little bit used to this. But they've been looking at this for years, but in much smaller doses, much, much smaller doses. 12 years ago, and then in 1932, they had a real bad one, but that bad one was half of what this was. But I was speaking to some of the great people in the town, and they said, no, every year we get a little bit, but it was like a little bit of a flood, right? You were telling me, and it was just a flood. We got used to it. We had people, and we took care of it, and this year it was like, what's going on, right? So all across the country, Americans' hearts are shattered. I had to be here as president. First Lady wanted to be here. And, all the beautiful souls, and we're filled with grief and devastation. It's the loss of life. And unfortunately, they're still looking. They're still looking. There's a lot of missing children, possibly, mostly, we don't know. But they're still looking. And they'll find everybody, but it's not an easy thing. You would think it would be easy. It's very tough. I looked at what they're going through, what they have to do. But dozens and dozens of precious children taken from us with such, I looked at the pictures of almost all of them, and it's terrible. Following a torrential downpour, the worst that anyone's ever seen, Guadalupe River rose 26 feet in less than 45 minutes, and I've even heard it went well over 30 feet. There's one story that one person said it had to be 60 feet at one moment. This is like a giant, giant wave in the Pacific Ocean that the best surfers in the world would be afraid to surf. And it unleashed a catastrophic flooding as most residents were asleep in their beds. A very dark evening. The waters claimed at least 135, 140 lives. They're getting that count, but the count that they don't have is how many are still missing. But a lot of lives, a lot of young angels. At the girls' Christian summer camp, known as Camp Mystic, a legendary camp, a camp that people would want to go to from all over the country. People, parents, they come and they would stay with their children. They'd stay in other cabins just to be with their children, but a legendary place. They were there because they loved God, and as we grieve this unthinkable tragedy, we take comfort in the knowledge that God has welcomed those little, beautiful girls into his comforting arms in heaven. And we believe that, have to believe that, and we do. And we lost some wonderful people beyond the little girls. We lost some very brave men and women that tried to save the girls. As our nation, we mourn for every single life that was swept away in the flood, and we pray for the families that are left behind.
Did you hear this? I went to the hill country of Texas today, to Kerrville, where the deadly flooding happened. President Trump came in to go and see the actual damaged area and to do a news conference. He only took 3 questions. One of them was from me.
Yes, please.
Hey, it's
Yes.
Joe Pags, Mr. President. It's been a while since we've seen each other. Obviously, the staffing was where it needed to be. In fact, it was heavier than it should have been because of the holiday weekend. Whatever they're saying in the left news isn't the truth. You're a developer, though. At 1 o'clock in the morning, the technology only goes as far as it goes. Kids don't have their phones. Phones are dead. People by the riverside don't have electricity. They're not going to get a phone alert that way. As a developer, going forward, knowing that everything was done lightning fast by Secretary Noem, by you, by the governor, and everybody else, you did everything right. What do we do next time, though, to make sure that people are alerted if they're dead asleep? Maybe an alarm system, maybe a siren system. You might know better than I. But what do we do going forward? Because we've got to make sure that people get the alert when it's time to get the alert. Thank you.
Yeah, you'll probably have to do that. You'll probably come up with something very unique because there is no system right now. There's been a thing like this has never happened that anybody knows. Certainly not to this extent, but I know the governor and everybody is working on it. They're meeting and they'll figure something out. Go ahead, Governor.
Yeah, so we begin a session in 10 days. We will address every single question that you just asked. You mentioned some of the ideas. There are many more. And we want to hear, most importantly, we have to devise a response that's right for this community. And this community has to weigh in, and they need time to be able to convey that to us. But we're going to work on alerts. We're going to work on every single solution to make sure things like this don't happen again, not just in this community, but in other river basins across the state also. So we will work to get it right, and we've jotted down, Joe, every idea that you just mentioned.
What would you ask the question if you had the same opportunity? And which solutions can you think of to make sure people actually hear the alerts when they come in, no matter what time of night it is? Make sure you comment. I want to see those comments right now. Like it, share it, and don't.
My deepest sympathy to all of the parents who lost beautiful young souls. Deepest sympathy from all of us, to the community, to everybody who lost a loved one. We are grieving with you. Our nation is grieving with you. We just met with the wonderful families. We pray with them. We hug. We hold hands. They share the stories. And I met beautiful young ladies. They gave me this special bracelet from the camp in honor of all of the little girls that they lost their lives. So we are here to honor them and also to give the support, help, and I will be back. I promise to them, and I just pray for them and giving them my strength and love.
All right, what's up, everybody? We are, me and my team here. Everybody say ha. Okay. Ha, ha, ha. We've all been walking on the south side, going west from the dam in Kerrville, just right outside of Kerrville in Kerr County. So we've been here all morning doing ground searches in the water right now, as we had to get across to an island there to do a search, and then a second island. And so all morning long we've been doing ground searches back and forth. We've got teams on horseback. Of course, there's a lot of teams here doing a lot of different things. And so continue to pray for all the people that are down here in Texas. So a whole lot of people missing, and a whole lot of people that are here that are just exhausted and beat to death. It could use your prayers more than anything. So I love you guys. Thank you for continually supporting, and I'll keep updating. See y'all.
The Blue Oak RV Park, it was amazing. It's on the Guadalupe River. It's what, most Texans, hope to do at some time in their life. Most Texans I know. My parents came down. I've been pushing them to come down for a little while, just to get a little vacation. I rented them a cabin next door to us. They were coming down just to celebrate July 4th weekend, do some fishing, do some barbecuing, and this is all unrecognizable. This is all it. She woke up to the screaming.
The water was moving so fast, so violently. And the water's still coming up. You couldn't throw a line across to help get them in. So I called 911 at 429 and this is 447. Same time, you have RVs floating across. That's the RV.
Literally right here was our RV. There's a little walkway out there where my dad and I were fishing July 3rd. Just catch a couple fish, one turtle. And our parents was 197 feet at about 15 feet elevation that way. And I thought I had time to run up and, yeah. Even though they were higher off the river, it didn't help. They were just washed away. 23 years in the Army. You know, any soldier, any troop, you know, they experience it. It's one of the most helpless times in my life where you can't help. You just can't. My parents, Robert and Johnny Brake, middle class all the way through. My dad was in the Air Force. My mom put herself through nursing school. They were about the community, they're about the country, church, big in the church, patriotism.
Dad taught us how to salute from the time we were 3 or 4 years old. He told us from early on, you protect others who can't protect themselves. That's what the military did for us, and that's how we led our lives. I started down this next little town over, walking the river every day, looking under just piles and mountains and just hoping for an article of clothing or just anything, really. Every day it just felt like it wasn't enough. There's not enough daylight, to be honest with you. Knowing my father was found first, it's given me comfort all day knowing my mother's not far, because he didn't
He didn't let her go.
He didn't take his last breath without her. So wherever he was, she's not far.
Oh my god.
Holy shit. Spero che passi sotto. Dici che passa?
Ma meglio
Ora, succede anche tutto qui, anche paura.
I know I'm gonna get a big old water musk. You smell it over there, Dan?
So I didn't finish recording that video yesterday because we did end up recovering a body. We had to dig them out. They were pretty deep down in that big debris pile. Again, if you're out here searching right now, the key factors are smell and flies. So follow the flies. The more you dig, the flies just keep getting worse and there's no way to get them away. So the flies are definitely a big looking point on if you think you found something, and obviously smell. One thing we also found out is bodies smell a little sweeter, at least to me they do. I don't know if that really makes sense, but they smell a little sweeter rather than like a dead deer. Anyway, stay safe out there if you're helping in the flood efforts, and God bless.
Did y'all see the story about Texas floods where the governor said, "My hands are tied, there's nothing we can do, time's running out"? Guess who came across the river to help? Without their hands tied, with no orders to come, Mexico came across the river to help Texas. Even though America's deporting all these immigrants, they didn't hold a grudge. Human lives were at risk. And all these Mexican workers crossed the river, started saving people, searching for people, brought search dogs, hundreds of them. They didn't care about what's going on with the immigrants being deported. They didn't look at that. They looked at human lives in danger and came across to help and saved lives. That's what humans do when times are needed. They didn't look at what's going on, because that's not what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to help when it's needed. Thank you, Mexico.
A true Texan. Watch this gentleman take his hat off to shake Melania's hand before he starts talking about the map.
So just imagine they're up here, 7 adults, 2 babies, 2 dogs, and the water is rising so quickly, they're trapped. And the only way to get out was somehow to burst through. And so they just grabbed something, and the 3 men were trying to create this. You dropped into the water, but the water is moving fast.
Well, I think it's just doing this. I can't tell you on that.
Is it all kind of it's pitch black?
Yeah. It's pitch black. You don't know.
Most of their possessions are gone, but they're left with the most important thing.
We have 9 lives. We have everybody's safe, everybody's healthy, barely a scratch on anybody.
And a connection to their family history, while a little battered and bruised, is another story to tell.
My great-great-grandmother is Frances Hodgson Burnett. She's the author of The Secret Garden, Little Lord Fauntleroy, A Little Princess, and 50 other books. And my mother was the keeper of, kind of her stuff. So she remained actually hanging here throughout. She got waterlogged, of course, but she's okay.
Y'all big mad because I said thank you to Mexico. I mean, some of you can't stay out of my DM. Blocked. I am fully aware that I am African American. Duh. I've been African American for 35 years of my life. Let me break it down to the ones who don't understand, okay? You see, the Mexicans are over here and they're getting harassed. They're getting deported, but yet they still came over here to help Texas when we had a disaster, when we had a tragedy. For the ones who don't understand that, they came over here not knowing what was going to happen. So, again, I say, thank you to Mexico. They my cousins anyway. So, y'all, leave me alone. Get out of my inbox and go say thank you to Mexico, because they deserve it, and I'm going to keep saying it over and over again. Okay? And yes, I'm sure y'all keep saying other people helped. Yes, I know. But other people ain't getting deported.
Oh my God!
mocks flood victims in Texas with the cruelest remark of his career. The water destroyed everything, homes, streets, entire families. But what Trump said hurt even more. Following the massive floods in Texas, which have already left 24 dead and over 700 injured, the former president was asked how he planned to help. His response was chilling. That's in the hands of local authorities. Then came what many are calling an act of boundless cruelty. When a reporter asked if he felt any compassion for the victims, Trump smiled and replied, "Accidents happen." He added, "I hope the dead are immigrants, not Americans." That sentence froze the nation, and within seconds, it went around the world. It became clear to Trump, not all lives are equal. Latino organizations, activists, churches, and thousands of citizens have raised their voices. They demand an immediate response. They demand dignity. They demand justice. How much longer will this hate-filled rhetoric go unpunished? Comment justice for all if you believe that every life matters, and share this scandal before it gets erased. Because silence is complete.
I have read story after story of people affected by the Texas floods, but I read one this morning that completely wrecked me. I legit have cried all day long, and I don't know what I need to do to get this weight off my chest. I don't know if I need to post and tell their story and spread it. I don't know if I need to just keep praying for them. I don't know what I can do, but I cannot keep this weight. Or maybe it's supposed to be there. Maybe we're supposed to bear the burden of all the moms who have lost their children. In the article, it starts out by stating that this home that was on the river, one, is on stilts. It was built to withstand pretty much a 100-year flood plan. It was concrete pillars. It was sturdy. It was not some 100-year-old shack on the river. What happened was pretty much they were woken up by things sounding like they were hitting the roof, hitting the siding, things like that. And the way that they were trying to register what was happening was, oh, I hope it's not still raining tomorrow so that we can go for a run or, you know, enjoy 4th of July festivities. That's what's going through their mind of how severe the rain and the flooding is. One of the men were having to hold the sliding glass door shut so that water wouldn't pile in. And then the mother has her 4-year-old. This is so sad. The mother has her 4-year-old on the island, kitchen island, and her 20-month-old. And they were trying to think of ways of how they can get the children up as high as they can because there's no one that can rescue them. They called 911 and they said they didn't know if they could get to them. And so one person's holding the glass. I need to get myself together. Water is coming in. No one knew that the house was going to be literally ripped to shreds within 10 to 15 seconds. Or obviously the dad would have been holding the children. Or obviously the uncle, I believe, who was in the Coast Guard for 4 years would have been the one to hold the children. Oh my gosh. The house just splits apart and the mother is wiped away with her 4-year-old and her 20-month-old, right? She was holding onto the 4-year-old, which is her daughter, Rosemary, and she's holding onto her son, 20-month-old, which is Clay. And she said that he gets wiped away, but she still has her 4-year-old. She said she knew in that moment, once he was wiped away, that he was dead. She was able to climb up a tree with her 4-year-old. The thing that gets me is when her 20-month-old was literally ripped out of her arms. She did not let go of him. Ripped out of her arms by the currents, debris, whatever it may have been. She couldn't just let go and go with him because she had to think about her 4-year-old. Like, she didn't even have the option to just let the water take her because she had her other baby. And she legit had to hold on. I cannot, you guys. She had to hold on with her 4-year-old in a tree for I don't even know how long. Her husband and them end up making it and rescuing her and the 4-year-old Rosemary. But they called 911 and let them know that their son Clay is missing, a 20-month-old. The part that got me was they get the mom and Rosemary to the bank. They're safe. But the father gets a call that they did find a 20-month-old that matched Clay's description. The dad had to go down to the morgue with a couple of the family members. And in the article it says that he The article, it says that when he got to the morgue, he identified him, brushed his blonde hair back, put his hand on his chest and said, "That's my boy." And these floods are not just, oh, they wiped away homes on a river. No, they legit came and ripped homes off concrete pillars up to 30 feet high with family and children in them. I'm letting you know this story and this testimony because if there's anything that you can do today, it is to please pray for the mothers who had their literal children ripped out of their arms, family members, mothers, dads, fathers, rescue team who are having to identify these people and search for missing ones who still have not been found. Please, please, please pray for these people because it is so devastating. I could not imagine being a mother, having one of her children ripped out of her arms, but not being able to go after them because you have another child that you have to keep safe. All that to say, I am weeping for the mother who could not save her son.
Texas is grieving right now. The pain, the shock of what has transpired these last few days has broken the heart of our state. As of yesterday, the confirmed death toll was 82, and those numbers are continuing to go up. The children, the little girls who were lost at Camp Mystic, that's every parent's nightmare. Every mom and dad. Last week, we were picking up our daughter from camp here in Hunt. Our girls have gone to camp here for a decade. The Hill Country is an incredible part of Texas, part of the country. The natural beauty here is incredible. The camps that have raised generations of little girls and little boys and instilled character and love and faith are extraordinary institutions. And I'll tell you, the pain in our state, and it's every part of the state. You've got Texans from all over the state who were here celebrating the 4th of July. A week ago, this was a time of great celebration. You're dropping your little girl off at camp, your little boy off at camp. You're celebrating Independence Day. You know that your child is going to be swimming and canoes and horseback riding and doing archery and making lifetime friends. And then suddenly it turns to tragedy. For the last several days, I've spoken to multiple parents, scared out of their mind. Do you know anything? Where is my daughter? There's still 10 girls and 1 counselor from Camp Mystic that are unaccounted for. And the pain and agony of not knowing your child's whereabouts, it's the worst thing imaginable. I called President Trump. He was having dinner at the time. It was still early in what was transpiring. And I wanted him to know, I said, Mr. President, everything we're hearing right now, this appears to be bad, really bad. There may be a very significant loss of life unfolding right now in Texas. And I will tell you, the President said, Ted, anything Texas needs, the answer is yes. Whatever assets you need, whatever resources you need, yes, let us know, and we will provide everything. Within hours, we had helicopters, over a dozen helicopters in the air. National Guard, DPS, game wardens, Coast Guard, doing search and rescue, reaching down. We've all seen the videos of little girls being pulled up, hoisted out of harm's way. Incredible courage and heroism.